Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to attach a shirt collar to a shirt, how to sew the shirt collar step by step. So now the first thing you're going to be doing, you're going to measure your neck circumference. So you're going to measure your neck circumference around the neck, starting from this point. So make sure you take the neck circumference properly when doing this, because this is very important. This is the most important part of the neck. So now I've taken my neck circumference, and my neck circumference is 19.5 inches. So that 19.5 inches, now I'm done measuring my neck circumference. So the next thing I'll be doing is cutting my fusing. I'm using a collar fusing for this. This is a collar fusing. You can get it in any tailoring training center. Sorry guys for not posting since I will be posting videos now, so please pardon me. So now you can see I've cut out the collar fusing I'll be using. So now we are going to cut out the collar. So remember I said the collar circumference is the neck circumference is 19.5. So that 19.5 inches, I'm going to divide it by 2. So 19.5 divided by 2 is around 9.75. First I will a straight line. I'm going to cut out those edges. I'm going to trim it out like this. You can see what I'm doing. It's important that I trim it out. So I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to divide 19.5 by 2. 19.5 divided by 2, you can see this is how you're going to divide it. 19.5 divided by 2, that will give you 9.75. So I'm going to mark my 9.75 at this point. You can see I mark my 9.75. Then from this point I'm going to come up about 3/4 of an inch. You can see I come up by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to mark my 3/4 of an inch at that point. I'm going to use this my multi-purpose ruler to curve it at the edge. Now watch closely the way I curved it. So if the way my camera is moving, I didn't log autofocus the screen. So you can see the way I curved it. You can see the way I curved it. Yeah, I just used my ruler to give it a slight curve at that point. Now my collar stand, I want it to be around 1/4. So I'm going to measure 1/4 all through. And after measuring this 1/4, I'm going to trace those places that I marked. I'm going to connect those points that I marked. You can see I connect all those points that I marked. So now after connecting those points, after holding it, I'm going to cut the fusing out. You can see this is the collar stand. You can see. So now the next thing I'm going to be cutting is my top collar, the part that is going to be seen outside, you're going to see at the neck. So now I'm going to give space of about 1 inch from where I curved it. You can see it is like a slight curve in that collar. So I give a space of 1 inch at that point. Then at this point I'm going to come in by 1 inch also. You can see where I come in by 1 inch. So now I'm going to curve it like this. So when you have marked this, it's going to create, when you want to connect both points, it's going to create a curve. You can see the way I curved it. This curve is very important because it will help in balancing the collar. Okay, when you have sewn it finish, when you are done sewing it, it will help balancing the collar. Now from this point I come up by 2.5 inches. I come up by 2.5 inches. Then before I just fold a straight line at that point. You can see I just fold a straight line. Now the next thing I'll be doing is this other part. I'm going to measure around 2 1/4. I measured around 2 1/4. So now I'm going to connect both points together. You can see I connect both points together. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to cut out my collar. You can see I'm done cutting my collar, so I'm just going to cut this out. Now after cutting this out, I'm going to give it a notch to know my center point when I'm sewing it. I gave a notch at the top collar and that of the collar stand. So I'm done cutting the fusing. Now I'm going to gum this. Okay, so now this next process is very easy. You're going to take the fabric you are using. This is the fabric, and I believe you have seen it in the beginning of the video. This is the fabric. Thank you guys for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to release more video very soon. Please like, subscribe to this channel, and let me know what you think about this video. So now this next step, you are going to make sure that this fusing gums very well, because it's a collar fusing and it needs heat to in order to for all the gum to be intact. Okay, make sure you give this a good press. So I'm just going to give this a good press. If you are pressing the first time, you check if the gum is okay, if the gum is intact. Then if it's not, you press it again and again until you are sure that all the fusing and all the gum in the fusing has stayed. So I'm just going to cut this part out. Now I'm going to fold this place. I'm going to press this with my iron. I'm just going to fold it all through. You can see. Just follow this process and you are good to go in sewing a shirt collar. These are all the process. So now I've prepared the under fabric I'll be using for this my collar stand. You can see this two layer other fabric is very important. So now I'm going to the top collar. The next thing I'll be gum is my top collar. So I was cross checking if this part would be okay for it, but it wasn't, so I used the other side. You know, you would want to manage fabric. So you can see now the same process in this one. You make sure you press it very well. You make sure that the heat of the iron is in full force, and not to burn your cloth, but to make sure that this gum stick to the fabric. So now after gumming it, I'm going to fold it like this. You can see I'm going to fold it. I'm going to leave allowance at the look. If you can see, I leave allowance at the top. That is very important. So when you are sewing it, you have fabrics to turn it. Now the next thing you do, you just have to trim all these excesses. You just have to cut it out. So now we are done gumming our collar. So the next thing we are going to be doing is sewing it. So these are all the parts. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is sewing it. First I'm going to stitch this. I'm going to stitch this the under collar, the collar stand. You can see quality under collar. This is the first thing I'll be stitching. Then next I'll be stitching my my top collar. I'm just going to see now. Mind you, when you are stitching this, you are going to leave a little space away from the gummed fusing. So when you are turning it, to give you this nice finishing that you desire. So make sure that you do not sew it on top the fusing. You leave a little space, probably 1 millimeter or something, but not up to 1/4 of an inch. So after doing this, I'm going to trim it out. Okay, you see I've cut it out already. I'm not going to cut all the excesses. Now after cutting all these excesses, I'm going to turn it. So I'm done cutting the excesses. So now I'm going to turn this and give it a good press. Okay, I'm going to give it a good press. This is to make sure that the gum is okay and the top collar is perfectly ironed to give you a good finishing. So I'm done ironing it. I'm applying this collar stay. It's called a collar stay. I cut mine from a plastic plate. You can cut yours from plastic plate if you don't have the ready-made one. So I cut this from a plastic plate, an old plastic plate that I'm not using. Don't go and use the one that your house plate. Oh. I cut that from an old plastic plate that I'm not using again. Now this help in the firmness of the collar when you have fixed it, when you button it to give you this nice fitting, nice to sit well on your neck. So now I'm going to put it at that point. I'm going to put it slant, and make sure when you are cutting this, it will not be the same length of your top collar, to be shorter than it, so you will not sew the plastic. But at this point now you can sew the plastic so that it's for it to hold, for the stitches to hold the collar stay. I put it slantly. You will not put it straight, you're going to put it slantly. You can see the way I fit it inside slantly. So just follow this whole process and you will have a very good collar finishing. If you don't want to put this collar fusing collar stay, that collar stay, the plastic I just put in the collar, you can just do it like that, but this will give you a nice sitting on your collar. So now I'm going to recreate that notch. That notch is my guideline when I am sewing the collar. Okay, now I will sew my collar. Mind you, make sure that the place you gum is facing the top. You can see I have illustrated the place you gum is facing the front, and now your under collar, your collar stand, you can see you are going to fix those knots together. You are going to hold it together. Make sure that the two knots of the top collar and the other collar is matching. Then you sew it at this point first. Now you're going to trim those excesses, and make sure you don't trim it inside too much. Just trim a little bit. Then you are going to sew this other part. You can see the way I continue it at the other way. So you are going to start it from that knot, so it will not create gathers. If you start it from the edge, it might create gathers at the knot points. So as to make it smooth and clean, you are going to start from the notch again and sew the other parts. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share this video, and I pray that you will be blessed as you watch this video. So now I've stitches. Now the next thing I'll be doing is ironing my collar. Okay, I'm going to give this a very good press. So now I want to iron my collar. So the next thing I'll be doing is to iron it. Follow this whole process of me ironing it. You can see I turn it at the back first, then I flatten those flatten it. This is very important. Make sure you follow this process when you are fixing your collar. We're almost done with this collar. This is the whole process. There's nothing hard here. This is very simple, and I believe if you follow this whole process, you will be a master in making a shirt collar. So now I will just press the top. I will just press the top and don't pressing it now. So I will just trim those excesses, leaving about 0.3 of an inch allowance at the edge, probably up to half of an inch, but half of an inch will be too much, so I just leave 0.3 of an inch at the edge allowance, sewing allowance. So this is the final part of the collar, the attachment of the collar to the body of the shirt. This is very simple. Just follow the whole process and you will get it. So I'm going to start at this first point. I'm going to stitch it around the collar, starting from one end to the other. You can see, and you can see the way I'm positioning the collar. Make sure make sure your hand goes like this when you are sewing it round. And remember, I said the measurements should be precise. I measured 19.5, and it was exactly what I measured that it gives me at the finishing of the collar. So make sure that you measure exactly, so you will not create a rough sewing. It's exactly what I measured, that is what I got. So now I'm going to stop stitch it. I stitched the first part of the attachment of the collar. So now this is just the locking of the collar to finish it. So this is how you stitch it. You can see the way I turn it round, then stop at this point, then I close the under collar. Now mind you, when you're top stitching this thing, make sure you top stitch it at the edge. I forgot to mention, make sure you top stitch it at the edge. That is very important. You stitch it at the edge, and now our collar is done. You can see it's very simple, nothing hard here, no biggie. So now I'm just going to give this a very good press. So now when pressing this, first I'm going to iron this the back of the collar very well. This is very important, and important position on your collar. Then I'm going to fold my collar like this. Mind you, you should cover a cloth in this so that it will prevent the cloth, the fabric from shining. To prevent the, your shirt from shining, it's important to cover clothes. Make sure you are doing that when you are sewing. You cover clothes and give your customer that nice finishing. Okay, so now I am going to iron the second part. You can see I've given it a good press on the top collar. So now I'm going to press the same on the under collar. I give it a good press, and it's done. So you can see I'm trying to arrange the collar. I'm done sewing this collar. This is very simple. Please guys, subscribe to my channel, like this video, let me know what you think about this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate it. So I think that's all for shirt collar. Like, share. I'm going to show you guys the finishing of this shirt. Let you guys a better view of what I've done. You can see the importance of the collar stand. Look at the way the collar stand. So thank you guys for watching this video. See you guys on my next video.